A most simple question. Why would I, somebody like I, with my allegiances, be upset that a few American men of power bungle basically a press release and put on a platform, a public platform, their plans to bomb the Houthis? Um, my only misgiving with that is that they didn't publish these plans in the Atlantic magazine in time for the Houthis to read it and to get their children out of the way of these bombs. I understand that it's a tool. It is a Nazi that celebrates an efficient and competent military. Sorry, it just is. The Houthis are not attacking us. They're not a threat to world peace. Believe it or not, no matter what you're told. So anyway, this is the subject du jour, and that's my opinion on it. I think it's disgusting and pathetic. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I have been on this before about a while ago, and what the hell, repetition is now all there is. It's not possible to be a self-hating Jew or Catholic or Muslim. You could conceivably be a self-hating Buddhist because Buddhist does actually concern itself with the self. The Western religions are not concerned with the self. They are concerned with the group, the tribe, the community. The self takes far, far away second place. The reason is clear. The self is looked down upon. It is to be guarded against. It is sinful. It is actually the reason for those religions is a crushing and a denial of the self. I suppose I have friends who are religious, whose selves maintain themselves. But I think they always struggle with it. I think it's a dialectic. It's a back and forth. Very confusing to them and to me. You will think I mean the selfish self, the childish self. No, you worship that. Your Trump, your Biden, your Musk. They really get your knickers wet. Adolescence will rule in a teenage culture, which is what being God's children means. God's children, not God's adults. What is the parable? In a country full of blind men, the one-eyed man will rule. Something like that. It is their charm and their magic, the religions. The self is vile, the Catholic is perfect. A construction. The Catholic plays his part or her part. God is always watching. She behaves as she should, as she has been told. The mystery of herself of no use, nor of any interest. When it does manifest, throws a shoe, breaks a habit, adds one too many straws, falls off the wagon, the self sins. It does what it has been told not to do. The only option the poor starving brainwashed self-creature can think to do. There isn't only the broad way and the straight and the narrow. There are more than two roads of infinitely more interest. More than two sexualities, three at the very minimum, though most pre-monotheists decide there are five. The Catholic kid is celibate and undrugged or active and stoned. No other journey is imagined. The believer is comforted, perhaps, by this inanity, but the price is very high. The one God invention is the great emasculator, the obliterator of self, man or woman. The spiritual, it makes obedience, gestural, showy. The believer is so insecure they must pray all the time, turning from the self to God for counsel, comfort, and confirmation, and in the end, excuses. We are weak, but he is strong. It's an extraordinary myth that if we are left alone to our own devices, we will become butchers, where in fact we are butchers by commandment. I find in characters as deep, as different, as Miko Peled, Ilan Pape, and Norman Finkelstein, who must all be accounted self-hating Jews, I see grown-up selves, strong men. There are some religions that allow a discovered self to participate. They even encourage them. We butchered as many of them as we could. They're falling further and further into the rear view. The pagan Greek, about whom we know a lot, or as much as we can imagine, without turning Socrates into a sophist. The Greek pantheon was not to be obeyed. Their behaviors were appalling, if no worse than our one God for sure, but they didn't need to forgive Zeus for floods, hells, and Sodoms. Christian America overlooks his body count. Look at what Dad did. Sarah C.M. Payne said, well, of course, if you cross borders into other countries, other people's lands and commit atrocities, bad things will happen, unless, of course, it's the 16th, 17th, and 18th, and 19th centuries and you're European. So stupid. What happens then is you are the greatest country ever. Reflexively, it is not that she can say something so stupid. It's that no one listening will challenge her for saying it. They all belong to the same effing religion. The room is full of people trying to belong, huddling around the great God of the West, desperately being stupid, selflessly stupid. It is the price of membership, and the machine is a killer. This is an attack, it is. But unlike the one goddess, I'll not come killing and raping. You're not heretics to me because I have no religion. The most wearying part of today's discourse and answers to questions is the lack of options. The magnificent TV series Adolescence, there has been a ton of discussion. It is good, but also very sad that people are not aware of young men, young women, and their knifings. And nobody even muses that this is what kids will do if they aren't allowed guns. People even say, this is new. And they blame it on social media. Trust me, young girls were groomed before Pakistanis came to England. It was all there, always, especially virulent among the Western individualist upper classes. The victims were invisible, therefore. The Jeffrey Epstein tradition is ancient. His clients, the creme. Giselle Pellicot, as ancient as Europe. Evidence of rape on cell phones. White American cops didn't shoot black men before the iPhone. All over this TV show, the adolescents, the psycho babblers scramble. Dad needs therapy. Oh, maybe granddad should have therapy. Mistake me not. We all need therapy. Then the victim, the girl, will need it too for taunting the boy. Do you not connect the television? When was television invented? I don't know. Television. I grew up with TV. Eventually, I was 11 before I watched it properly because I'd been in primitive countries before that. We didn't have one. Television used as a way of shutting the kids up, right? Turn the TV on, that'll shut them up. What is the source of that? You're too busy. You were at your job all day. You're too tired to deal with your children. Say that. Say that. That's the root of the cell phone. You know, it's like blaming AI on people who created AI. We all created AI. We've been moving towards AI for 500 years. We've craved AI. AI is almost a religious thing, the perfect thing out there. It's interesting to me because I was reminiscing with my brother yesterday. And I was in middle school, which seems to be a more and more significant period of my life. I only finished high school, but middle school. I would go in every day, and I had phys ed, whatever you call it, gym. I was in the orchestra. I had Spanish. I had shop. I was on the swimming team. I was on the soccer team. I had all of these non-academic things to do. I went in to do things. And in each case, I had a very, very fascistic, probably a Francoist Spanish teacher who was amusing. I mean, it was good to see this person in action. But then I had the most brilliant shop teacher, much older man, just a wonderful, wonderful balance of personalities, the different kinds of men that you had to deal with, and the women. I know because I went from the Castilian Spaniard, the Franco celebrator of Franco. It's like Miss Jean Brodie, and I went to CHLS Cambridge High in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the following year, and I had this incredible Puerto Rican Spanish teacher. She was just amazing. Anyway, I had this pantheon of adults. And when we were in school, we paid a lot of attention to them. We watched them. We watched their personalities. We heard what they said, but we were not so specialized. Now we've got an immigration system that has been told to prioritize coders. I've done this one already, but I don't want any more coders in my culture. They're fine who they are, but they're extremely narrow people. They were created narrow. We value narrowness. There is no Renaissance person. We don't value that. We don't pay that. Right? I mean, I take a look at them Silicon Valley dudes, and they just make me laugh. And these are the new men. Trust me, you're in trouble. If those are the new men, if Elon Musk is the new man, y'all are in trouble. And you don't have to do anything to him. You just stop copying him. I saw this wonderful thing. I posted it, actually. I saw this wonderful thing of this. It was a little short clip of this British guy, actually, an influencer, big buff black guy, done all his work in the gym, and he was putting on his special, doing his special shaving, and then puts on his gorgeous clothes, and he goes out and he gets into his Maserati or whatever it is, and we're all supposed to go, oh my God, yes, that's what I want. If that's what you want, that's why your culture's in trouble. Men who look in mirrors and see nothing, only see the creation. They don't see in. Good luck.